Welcome to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, bringing baby boomers proven strategies and innovative products for getting fit, staying fit, so you can live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Here's your host, best-selling author and fitness advocate, Phil Ferris.
This is Phil Ferris, and welcome to our show. Never Too Late for Fitness Radio provides answers and straight talk about fitness, nutrition, and healthy lifestyles for people over 50. Our goal is to educate and advocate health and fitness strategies that help you live a longer, healthier, and happier life. My guest today is Neil Achim, master of yoga and Tai Chi with over 20 years of experience and the owner of Crystal Lake Body and Brain, located in Crystal Lake, Illinois. To achieve and maintain optimal health in body and mind, we need to practice movement and meditation daily. With a holistic approach to health, Crystal Lake Body and Brain, Yoga and Tai Chi improves flexibility, focus, strength, and vitality. The various classes and programs also provide tools for improving concentration, living mindfully to manage stress, and increase longevity while creating a more balanced lifestyle. Thank you, Neil, for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Neil, to begin with, maybe you could share a little bit about your background and how you became a master in yoga and Tai Chi and the owner of Crystal Lake Body and Brain.
Sure. Well, when I came in this country, I was looking for freedom, and I was fascinated by energy. And I joined a center that was doing yoga, hatha yoga, and taekwondo. And then I practiced that for a few years, and later on I discovered Tai Chi. So I joined this group, and I was fascinated by the energy and the results that I was getting out of the practice. So I decided to pursue it, and I became an instructor, then later on a master, and after a few years of being a corporate employee, I decided to open my own brain and body yoga location in Tai Chi in Crystal Lake.
Now, you said that you were fascinated by energy. Can you be more specific about what is it about energy that fascinated you and kind of compelled you to move in that direction?
Energy is the life essence that keeps us alive, actually, and is a way of harnessing that energy by simply relaxing our gaze, our focus, our mind into a certain location in the body that empowers and it grows that energy for health reasons, for clarity reasons, for a better health.
Okay, great. Now, my primary audience is people over 50 who want to live a longer, healthier, happier life.
Great, we can help.
Yeah, what does Crystal Lake Body and Brain have to offer them?
Well, actually, it's interesting because my mentor, Lee, just came out with the book, I've decided to live 120. So it's... most people say, oh, my God, I don't want to live 120. However, it's not a matter of deciding to live 120, just to realize that I do have the option to live the way I intend. And this is what we're teaching here. It's like really getting your health back, getting your mobility back, your balance, your clarity, easygoing exercises, step by step, that will enable it to really feel and experience, oh my God, I'm getting out of the car easier, a little bit easier than yesterday. My balance is a little bit better. And exercises are very non-competitive. You're not sweating and you're getting a lot out of them just by increasing the joint mobility and your skin, your muscles, tendons, with easy movements, like by doing contemplation, observing your body's movement and your breath and the energy feelings in your body.
So the key here in terms of longevity, it's not necessarily the total number of years you're going to live; it's the quality of life during that period of time.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And
And we teach you how to harness this energy to get your powers back.
So can you give me some examples of how you give people their powers back?
Sure. In the beginning of the class, we do stretching, breathing, relaxation, meditation, and we focus in a certain way. We practice a type of energy meditation to sensitize our mind and body by feeling the energy going into your sixth sense to start feeling. And then you realize that, oh my God, it's something I can feel on my hands, for example, and between my hands outside. When you start feeling this energy, you start moving your palms further and closer apart. So you can start doing like a simple relaxation meditation by lowering your brain waves and sharpening your focus. And it's like really turning on the light slowly, like a dimmable light, the switch that you slowly turn it on and on and on until it becomes more and more clear that it's a sensation of feeling between your hands. And then you bring in your palms, and then you focus on your left wrist and left elbow, left shoulder, and you can realize that this energy is moving within your body at your command, your mind power. And then this energy, it could be harnessed in a certain position that we hold that is designed to store it. It's like recharging our life battery, because we're staying in a certain position that energy will flow into the second chakra, for example, yeah, which is called Tanjon, the energy field, the storage for our life, for our health, so we can get better and healthier and happier because we can. And it's the way I experience it. It's really hard to explain it. It's so much easier to experience it. It's the best way to do it. Everything we teach is we explain the principles, and then we do a hands-on training, and we have sharing, questions, answers, and things like that, so we can learn from each other as well.
Okay. So if I'm understanding this correctly, through our breathing and our mental focus, we can start becoming aware of the energy that moves through us. And as we become better at it, we can actually control where that energy flows, whether it be in the hands, the knees, the feet. And by having this, we can actually move it to a place in the body in certain positions where we can actually start storing energy, so we have more reserves left over. And
Exactly.
And so if I'm able to do that, what's the benefit to me if I'm able to store energy and move energy through my body?
Sure. By learning how to accumulate energy, you can bring energy from the outside without depleting your own source. So
Okay.
you're slowing down the aging process, and you become more sharper and healthier and stronger by not depleting your own energy. Because from the time of birth, we're depleting our energy. But through this practice, you learn how to harness it and replenish it and use a minimum amount of your own energy, because there's a lot of energy in the universe. All we have to do is know how to harness it, how to bring it to ourselves, and how to use it wisely. But also, what I want to mention is that how do we lose this energy?
Okay, that'd be I mean, again, we talk
Yes.
about energy is we can't see it. It's
Right.
it's not like a deck of cards or money, but there is this flow of energy back and forth. And you talk about, I want to accumulate it, I want to keep it. But there's a lot of factors that cause us to lose energy. So talk a little bit about how we lose energy and how that affects us physically.
Yes. Well, first of all, if we are not aware of our body, of our mind contents, for example, if we talk a lot, and we're not productive. We're just showing off or just wasting of time. Sharing something that is not productive is not benefiting the other person that we discussing with. That's one form of waste of energy.
Okay. One of the things that people have talked to me about energy, a good example that hit home with me, they say, when you're in a period of stress and you're worrying about lots of things, it dissipates a lot of energy, and you become aware of it because you start becoming forgetful, because your mind is so cluttered with the stressful issues that your day-to-day living is lost focus, and you feel drained at the end of the day when you've had a stressful day. And so that's one of the things that I become aware of it when I start realizing that I'm losing energy on things I can't control, and my mind's getting cluttered. That's a signal to me that I need to slow down, relax, and recoup my energies, because I'm just wasting them away. And it's just, I physically am tired, don't have focus, I lose motivation when I'm in those stressful periods. So maybe you can give an example of one of your students that how they were able to use your programs to help them better reduce the amount of energy they're losing and accumulate more.
Sure. One of my good students, he's practicing for a little over a year. His name is Jay Odiche. He's been playing golf all his life. And he was champion in his 20s. Now he's in his late 70s. And he says this practice changed his life overall for getting a better health, better stability. And he says that now he's playing golf at this age better than what he played when he was in his 20s.
And what are some specific changes that he experienced because of the practice?
Well, first of all, everything that we teach here is through relaxation of the mind and the body, and using the mind and the body the way you intend by observing. At a certain point, like in the second chakra, you are observing your body's movements, your breath, your thoughts. So in other words, you become a witness of whatever you have, actually, because I am not the body, I'm not the mind. My mind is me. It's not me, it's mine. And my body is not me, it's mine. That means I should be able to use my mind and body the way I intend, which is my definition of health. So if I can do that, then how can I do that? First of all, we start walking simply. As we walk, we are just aware of the body's movements. And the more you are observing, the more you realize that you are not the body and you're not moving the body. So the body is moving on its own. And then we start observing the thoughts. So you see the mind contents, which are the thoughts and emotions and opinions and all that. We are observing, I saw a thought. But my definition of stress is resistance to the present, which means in a split second, the present, it's past, but we go back into the past, bring it into the everlasting present, and make a snowball effect out of it. If we can just observe, I wanted to do B, but C happened. At that point, instead of using energy and getting stressed out and worried and all that, which is waste of energy and it doesn't help, instead of that, we can say, okay, I see, happened this, but I wanted that. So the question is, what can I do now? What do I want now? How can I do it? Then what is my obstacle? Then all you have to do is remove the obstacle and things will happen in my way. The trick is observing, having that mental clarity turning that light on, getting bright, to feel, to see, to observe the truth, because my thoughts are not actually not even my thoughts. They belong to the world. I picked them up when I was born, and I was trained and raised by my parents, my teachers, my friends, and all that. So we just picked these things up. It's not that I came with certain opinions and thoughts and all that. So learning to observe and see that if I am not feeding those opinions and thoughts, I'm not a victim of my own information. I'm trying to get back to the freedom point where I can observe my thoughts, emotions, and I can free myself, because then I can live my life consciously instead of compulsively. So I can guide my mind and body the way I intend. And that's kind of the goal, brain mastering. We have 5 steps on doing this. So the first step is sensitizing to feel. And the last one is to become the master of my brain, which is my information.
Okay. Now, yoga and Tai Chi have been around for ages. Yet
Yes.
many people haven't tried them, or they really don't understand what they can do because of a lot of misconceptions, misinformation out there.
Yes.
What are some of the most common misconceptions people have, and how do you dispel them for your customers?
Well, there are many styles of yoga and Tai Chi. I am more successful, to be honest with you, in this location with Tai Chi, and I'm getting recommendations from doctors, chiropractors. It's the best way to do this is to come in, try a class, and then there's a questionnaire that I fill out, and I see what the condition of the person is, and see what they're looking for, and see a way on how I can help. Misconception, again, is like, what do we know of truth? We don't know the truth. We don't know even what water is. We know what an atom. We don't know what an atom is, but we know how to use it. So the best way to do it is just try it for yourself. Yeah, like try to explain to somebody what water is. The best way to do it, just throw them in a pool. They have a good sip of water. They feel it. They understand exactly how and what. It's very hard to explain to somebody what water is if they never seen water or never tasted or never felt water. But the best way to do it is understand it through your own experience is the best way, because whatever I say is my truth. Yeah, if I read a book, somebody's book, it's not my truth. It's somebody else's truth that they experienced or they lived it. But if I try something, now that becomes my experience. That is my truth that I could communicate at that level. But without experiencing, I'm just either believing or not believing. And yoga is, in this country, became like a fashion in the beginning. Like 20 years ago, all my friends used to make fun of me, like whatever I believed in. And now it's a lot more accepted. So it's many different styles of yoga, and many are accepted more and more in their true meaning of yoga, which means union, which means to get together, to be one nation, to respect, to love each other, to harmonize with each other. Instead of showing off with the mat under my armpit and showing off that I'm going to a yoga class or something like that. So I don't know if I answered, if it's clear what I said, but
okay. Well, let me ask you something else then. How would anybody know that they would be a good candidate for your program? So what are the 2 or 3 most common reasons people walk in the door to begin with?
Well, either getting recommended by friends, by doctors, chiropractors. Some people don't want to go in a certain way. They want to do it more holistically. Sometimes it's really getting an opportunity to read something about it. Some people are ready. Some people just want to try it for fun or for whatever reasons. I'll say, oh, let me try Tai Chi. I see old people or in their 80s, they're still doing Tai Chi in the park, and it sounds and looks fun and easygoing and things like that.
Okay.
So it's a matter of being exposed to the information and hearing it also from your vehicle, also a very good vehicle for your clients.
No, yeah, but there's something that motivates someone to walk in the door to try something. I want to improve something. I want to avoid something. What are those things that they're looking for initially?
Well, better health, less pain in the body. Some people come with lower back pain and knee pain. Balance is off. Like you said, even memory is a little bit off because of the mental sharpness. It's a little bit lower because of the energy and the importance of things that we do. Usually people come for physical health, and then it gets into the using the energy and experiencing their body getting better and better and better.
Okay, so can you give me an example if someone comes in and they've got either knee or back pain, and they say, I've heard that Tai Chi and yoga can help me relieve the pain I've got in my back and my knee. How can you do that? How can you help me do that? So can you walk me through what that would be like? Sure.
First, I give them a form to fill out and see what their condition is overall and see how I can help. And then we start exercising. So what do we do first? I have them move in a certain way, like bouncing by tilting the pelvis forward and back, but more forward than back. So we can relax the body, the muscles, and lower the brain waves. And the more we relax, the more obvious the things that are not okay are popping up. And then we start the wrist exercises, very non-invasive wrist exercises, elbows, shoulders through repeated rotations with correct breathing, observing the breathing and observing the condition of the wrist. So it cannot be done very fast. It has to be done slow and observing. What do I feel on my left wrist, top, outside, bottom, inside? At the same time, the opposite arm is doing the reverse direction of the rotation. And the same thing we do with all the joints. And by relaxing, repeating, creating a rhythm, and focusing on that body part, by using the principle of where your mind goes, the energy follows, and from mind to matter, you can feel after each joint exercise an immediate difference and improvement in the range of motion and a lot lighter and freer in your joints.
Okay, so by going
sorry to explain.
I'm trying to do my best. No, that's great because by slowing things down, becoming very aware of specific parts of the body, and through various breathing and mental exercises, you get to the point where and repetition, they start getting greater mobility. As you get greater mobility, there's a sense of freedom that goes with that. And like you said, there's a certain lightness. And they'll start feeling better right away because they're not holding the energy in a certain place. And you mentioned two things I want to drill down a little bit. One is how breathing helps you relax. And then you talk about lowering your brain waves. So there's two different things that are very important concepts, but I'm not sure everybody understands how breathing helps you relax. And there's people say, well, I breathe every day. And you're talking about a very specific kinds of breathing activities that allows you to relax. So can you talk a little bit about the breathing activities, then I'll come back to the brainwaves.
Okay, the breathing is normally we take it for granted. If we had to remember how to breathe or when to breathe in or out, we'll be in big trouble. It's done for us. However, it's the only thing that we can really use it in our favor by controlling the breathing. I cannot control my hearing or the way I want to hear things or the way I want to see things, but I can control my breath, which means if I slow down my breath, I can, with an intention and focus, it creates energy. For example, if I do any good workout, and I'm watching TV, I have no self-awareness. My attention and my focus, where my mind goes, energy follows, and then from mind to matter, which means I'm depleting my energy that I'm creating at the same time. I'm not aware of my breath. I'm not aware of my body movements. I'm not aware of my opinions. I'm not aware of my thoughts. I'm not aware of anything. My mind is just projected. I jumped into the TV. That's why we're getting 50% of the benefit when we do workouts, because we should be able to feel what we're doing to ourselves. By controlling the breath at your own level, of course, you can save even more energy and getting more power. Just simply by controlling the mind, actually, and then through the mind you control the breathing.
Okay. I know that the first yoga class that I took, and I trained for athletics, for football and rugby and other sports, and so I'm used to lifting weights. And so your way of breathing there is short. I'm gonna, and I tried to use that approach to breathing when I was trying to get into my yoga poses, and the instructor said, "No, you have to breathe into the muscle," and all my breathing was just to get the air out. And he said, and that was very hard for me to do initially, because I've been trained to like doing reps with weights, and then breathing into. All of a sudden, as I slowed it down and became aware of where I wanted the breath to go and the energy to go, then I found that my muscles did relax. And as they relaxed, I was able to gain more flexibility and mobility, as opposed to being tight all the time. And so for me, it was counterintuitive to go through that. But once I started to learn the slowing it down, the focus, and how it actually affected the receptivity of the muscles to move into a new position and add flexibility. So that was kind of eye-opening for me. So let me switch now from the breathing to the brainwave. You say, I want to lower the brainwaves. Can you explain how you do that and why that's important in your practice?
Sure. For example, we have an exercise called brainwave vibration. And the way we do that is we tap our lower abdomen, second chakra, like 3 fingers below the navel, 3 fingers inside is the storage room, is the battery, the life battery in the body. And also the intuition and awareness place that we can observe and feel everything from there. So what we want to do is we want to bring our awareness from the neocortex that most of the time we stay there like, should I say, like some kind of robots. Yeah. So we want to bring our brainwaves down into the intuitive place, into the gut. And simply by adding tapping with gentle tapping with your fist or palm into the abdomen, it helps you to bring your awareness down into the lower chakras. And then slowly also moving your head left and right. By doing that, you become very clear and very focused and lighter, and you can observe the movements, your thoughts, the body movements, instead of being taken by that. It's like when you are in the cortex, thinking, we're not aware that we have a choice to observe my thoughts, to observe my opinions, to observe my beliefs, my preconceptions. So you can start watching and witnessing that. So it means like if I'm moving my arm with my elbow, I'm moving my arm left and right like a pendulum. Yeah. And if I'm moving, then my awareness is in my fist. But if I keep practicing tapping, for example, my lower abdomen, my awareness is going down to the elbow. Then the arm keeps moving, but I'm observing. My brainwaves are lower and much lower and much lower. The lower they are, the better I can observe things that I'm not hijacked by my own opinions and preconceptions and beliefs and all that. So I can really see the way things are and the way I want them to be, and then I can choose what I want.
Okay. So as I learn to lower my brain waves, it puts me at a point of choice. I become aware. I'm aware of what it is, and I say, all right, that's a thought. Is that something I want to keep or not?
Right.
So if I decide to let it go, that's my choice. And I'm doing it consciously and on purpose. Or if I say, hey, I like that. That is my idea. That is mine. I want to own that. I can keep it. I do it because I'm doing it consciously because it contributes to something, not just because it's always there. And I'm starting to sort out, let's say, a mosaic of all these thoughts, and I can start focusing in on individual ones and say, oh, I wouldn't know where that was there. I can do something. I don't need that. That doesn't contribute. It just got stuck there maybe 10 years ago, and it's still there, and it doesn't serve any purpose, but it takes up space, takes up energy to keep it there, and now I can let it go. And so that can be very freeing, so you have more energy to focus on things that are important because you choose to focus on them. Is that a good example?
Right. Okay, exactly. That's the goal, to realize that we are the brain masters. I am the master of my brain. And we have to do that until the brain becomes puzzled and say, oh, wait a minute. The brain sends signals. All the time it sends signals to a certain part of the body, even with thoughts, opinions, if it's an issue or something. We have to focus on it until the brain gives up sending the signal. And then the brain is like, oh, wait a minute. I thought that I'm the boss here. Who's in control here? And then that's one step of how you realize that you can control your mind and body the way you intend. And that's kind of the goal, to take our brains back by getting bright, by getting focused, by slowing down the breathing, slowing it down, and observing the truth instead of being hijacked by all this information. So it's a way of being freeing oneself from oneself's information.
Okay. And we are in an age of information overload. We're bombarded with information wherever we go. And, it's not always by choice because it's all around us. And so the programs and the skills that you teach are to give people choices about what they put in their head, which affects their body. And by doing that, you allow the body to do a better job of taking care of itself. As we forget, is the body is designed to heal itself if we allow it to. So relaxation and breathing and all those other things are contributing factors to allowing your body to function as optimally as it can. Now, Neil, I understand that you're going to be participating in the Healthy New You Health and Wellness Expo in January 25th at the Crystal Lake Holiday Inn. What can they expect at the event, and what can they expect when they go visit you at the event?
Yes, I'm going to be having a booth there doing energy reading and explaining to people. I would give my recommendations what they can do and what they should do. And I also have Vera, which I thank her for having me there. She's going to have me do a class and maybe have some answers and questions there.
And you say you do an energy reading. What is energy reading?
Energy reading, I have a device that reads the energy field of somebody's level of consciousness that emanates from the physical body.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So that I can come
Yes.
there, and you can use this and show me, the extent my energy is focused on the conscious versus the unconscious level. Is that kind of an example of what I can do? And then
yes, and more actually is it has three parts, which is the past, present, and future. And obviously, the most important thing is present and where you're going with your thoughts, repetitive opinions, repetitive emotions that it kind of like puts us in a certain dimension of reality that we live in. For example, do we stay in courage and affirmation, which is a level of integrity, or do we go down into our ego and use pride, and we live our life? Our lifestyle is gathering with friends, and our basis, our foundation comes from pride, or another person might be anchored in anger, or somebody would be in forgiveness and acceptance and things like that.
Okay, well, that seems, and that just takes a few minutes. It's not that's something you'll be able to come to do right at your table, and you'll be able to get that just by going to the expo. They'll be able to get that at your table, right?
Yes, we can do that. Of course, this I could do as much as the town allows me to take. If it's a long line, then we have to cut it short. And I'm inviting people to do a one-on-one session at my location at the center here, and then we can expand if people have more questions about finding a way on how to better help themselves.
Well, that sounds really cool. And then that's the Healthy New You Health and Wellness Expo on January 25th from 9 to 4. It has a lot of different activities for the whole family. Neil will be there along with 60 other vendors and speakers. So it's a great way to check out a number of different resources for you to help your health for the new year. Now, Neil, if people want to contact you or learn more about Crystal Lake Body and Brain, where should they go?
I am on Northwest Highway and Main Street across from Panera. They also could go on my website, at Body and Brain Yoga and Tai Chi. And Crystal Lake, we have about 10 locations in the Chicagoland area. They can put Body and Brain Yoga, Tai Chi near me. And obviously, I'm on Crystal Lake. So they could go on my website and find more information. They're welcome to give me a call at 779-220-9343. And I will answer questions and make appointments and things like that.
Well, great. Again, that's 779-220-9343. So give Neil a call, set up an appointment, and learn how you're using your energy and how you can use it better. So, Neil, I want to thank you so much for sharing your information and informing us about Tai Chi and yoga. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the event. So thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, hosted by Phil Ferris. To learn more about the guests or resources on our show today, or to listen to past episodes, go to nevertoolateforfitness.com.